So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and an update on some of the painting projects I've been working on. So I showed HMS Victory, the Warlord's Black Seas model, pretty much done last time round. I've finally finished it off. Well, finally, because it didn't take me that long to finish it off. Although I did have an accident and managed to drop it off the table. Which did cause a little bit more damage to it, so it's a little bit more battered than I would want. So I've just done the very basic rigging. In fact, that's one of the problems I had since I dropped it, is it's loosened up a little bit on the rigging. I don't do the highfalutin rigging that Warlords recommend in their videos, and if you look in the rule book, it involves winding the thread all around, up and down, around and down, and I just, no, it's just too fiddly. So all I do is just basically start at this foresail here, or the mast here, loop it around that, then down to this bit here, I don't know what this bit of the ship's called, then back up, then down, then back up, and then across and down to the back, and that's it. I also don't use the rat lines. They're like acetate things, and I just think they look really plasticky and horrible. I'm sure people can do a really good job of modelling them better than I can, and I just haven't got the patience for it. So I'm calling this done, although I've just noticed one little problem with it, but I'll have to rectify in a minute. Still a bit fed up with the house, with the masts on it, and somebody did point out, I think Leslie, pointed out, surely it's better to have soft metal than it is hard metal. To a point, yes, but I find the trouble with soft metal, particularly when it's thin and spindly like this, it's really hard to reshape once it's lost its shape. Really hard. So and I just look at some of the masts here, and I haven't even, apart from the drop, which actually didn't affect the masts very much, I look at them, they're not really, properly lined up, but it is what it is. But the hull itself is fabulous. I do like these Warlord resin. In fact, even the plastic hulls are great, but they are a pain in the arse to paint up. And one thing, as Ken learnt the other day when we were talking about it on our stream, you've got to paint them largely 90% finished on the sprue. Don't try and assemble them and then paint them. That's an absolute nightmare. Anyway, I'm calling him done. So you may have seen this unit when I did the unboxing of the bolt action new supplement Stalingrad the other day, because at the same time as I pre-ordered that, I also ordered a Soviet Ampulmet team, for my two Soviet armies, so the normal sort of autumn one and the winter war one. It's a very effective anti-tank, and I think it's also part anti-personnel, a bit like a bazooka in a way, sort of thing, that you can have in the Russian list. Quite fun unit. You can see it's very much improvised kind of weapon, just a tube mounted on or put on a box, and I just thought it'd be a nice option for the list. I think it's going to be a useful unit, so painted it up, stuck it on the round base. I've also taken a couple of from my bits box, I found a couple of old wheels, stuck them on along with some of the little wooden bricks that I'd got, and just sort of put it in a sort of nondescript, I guess, sort of a city rubble. This one I think is actually city rubble from Luke's APS basing, and just sort of got the effect. So I could potentially use this in both armies. I mean, they are definitely wearing autumnal units. They're definitely wearing summer outfits or summer uniforms. They're definitely wearing summer uniforms, but I could swap them in the winter war units if I wanted to. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with how this one has come out. The conveyor belt tonight, we have my latest English Civil War unit finished. This is the Pike for Lord Percy's regiment. They wore white, surprise surprise, These are the proper flags for the unit as well. And yeah, I don't. I was joking, I think, with I think it was On Point in one of my videos comment sections about for some reason during this lockdown, I've had a bit of a masochistic streak and painted the colours I particularly don't like painting normally, which are whites and reds. Don't know why, just never really enjoyed painting. I know white's a pain to paint, but I found a technique to do it, and I quite like the effect now, so I've continued to do it. So I had this unit. This was a unit I bought. It was a unit deal. Some of you may remember, older viewers may remember, or longer term viewers may remember. I bought a unit deal from First Corps at Warfare last year, and so these are the figures from that. These are the pikemen. I think I've mixed in a couple of extras in. No, maybe this was entirely. It's the musketeers. I had to put a couple of extra figures too because just weren't quite enough number wise. But I'm really pleased with them. I think they're lovely looking, lovely models, and I would certainly, if I need some more, I'm going to buy some more of First Corps. I think they're really, really nice figures. So that's the pikemen done. So you've seen the pikemen, and here's the muskets to go with the pike of Lord Percy's regiment. Again, most of them are First Corps. In fact, I think all of these are First Corps. Yeah, I think all of these are First Corps. Bought at Warfare last year, and really nice figures. I have to say, really, really nice figures. I have now completed, I think, pretty much all my unpainted English Civil War foot troops. But I'm seriously tempted at some point to get another regiment of these boys just to make it up. So, because they're such lovely figures, I really enjoyed painting these. So yeah, another regiment joins the storage boxes for the time being until we can actually get some games, and they will join my Royalist army in due course, I'm sure. Nice to get them done. They've been kicking around here on the desk for quite a while. And I keep looking at them and thinking I must get them done, but I always wanted to do them as Lord Percy's regiment, and the white put me off. But as I said earlier, I've sort of seemed to have reconciled how to paint white now, and don't mind it. Doesn't put me off quite as much as it once did. So that is done. So I wouldn't want it to become all, you know, safe project work here. Although most of the painting I've done recently has been English Civil War. Obviously a few Second War have crept into. This is a 20mm flat gun, German. It was from Company B, I believe. I confess I had forgotten I had this. I found it as I was searching for some paint, and I found it stuck at the bottom of a box, unmade up, so I quickly made it up and painted up and stuck it on its base, and here we go. Yeah, it's a nice enough model. The figures are not the best, but it's okay. It's okay, and it'll be a useful addition to my German collection. So the shutdown ECW painting bonanza continues with another cavalry regiment finished. These are Renegade figures. If you remember, I did a regiment where they all had grey horses. I had another unit I bought at the same time on eBay, and so I've just painted them up as more generic cavalry, and quite pleased they are. I'm quite pleased with them as they've come out. Lots of sort of tans and that sort of thing, primarily. Nice figures. Could have done with a little bit more variety in the horses, to my mind, but you know, it's a nice effective unit en masse, and that's the main thing. So pleased with these. I seem to have overcome my fear of horse painting, so that's a good thing. Quite pleased with that. Maybe I can actually crack on with my Mongol army that I've always planned to do, and always been put off by the number of horses. But contrast paints make such a difference. I was a bit worried I was running out of contrast paints during the shutdown, but I managed to find somebody on eBay selling some, so I've got a new delivery of contrast paints, so never fear. there's more to be done. So finally, for this update, I painted up the sniper figure that came with the new bolt action Stalingrad book. This is Vasily. It's a specialist character in the game. Obviously, you don't have to use him as that. You can use him as any old standard sniper, but he has particularly good rules. I think if I remember rightly, he hits or he wounds on anything but a 1, basically, which is pretty impressive. Plus, but the only thing is he has to relocate after he's fired, and that's in keeping with the if you've watched the Stalingrad film. The sniper in that, he constantly has to relocate after he's fired. It's a really quite a good trait, and be interesting to see how it plays out on the tabletop. So anyway, he's done. Quite pleased with how he's come out. Maybe a little dark, but yeah, I put him on the snowy base so I can use him with my winter Russians, and yeah, he's ready to join the final horde. So I hope you enjoyed the update of what I've been working on. Seem to have got through quite a lot in since the last update, but I guess there's not an awful lot more to do other than paint figures and do DIY and do the garden and work, of course, which is a bit frustrating, but hey, it is what it is. We're all in the same boat, and it's nice to get some of these figures, particularly some of those ECW figures, off the back lot. Because I've had them sitting in a unholy pile for quite a long time, so now at least they're done and ready for when and if we get some gaming done. Hope you're all doing well, hope you're staying safe, and I will see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.